It's over.
I'm ready to go. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I have a very big announcement to make, and that is that I am completely switching my channel. I'm becoming a beauty guru, and I can't wait for you guys to see, you know, the makeup videos that I'm cooking up in the summertime. Was this bad?
No, that's kind of funny.
I'm a beauty guru now, so welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some makeup. Just kidding! Hi! That's a complete joke. I'm not becoming a beauty guru. I think you knew that, but... So today we have food, and we're going to do a mukbang just because I thought that would be fun. My sister's also here. She's gonna, you know, pop in a couple times. It'll be great. She's already eating. My sister Stephanie. This is Sam, for anybody who doesn't know. You probably all do know, so it's completely fine. But anyways, so I'm almost done with high school. I have like 2 or 3 weeks left. I was like sitting here and I knew that I wanted to do a mukbang just because I like to eat. I was like, okay, but like what can I talk about? Because I just don't want it to just like go on aimlessly forever, you know? So I thought that we could talk about high school stories just because that would be nice and entertaining, maybe.
Reliving past trauma.
So just an overview, how was high school for you?
Boring. I honestly think, like, reflecting, like, I graduated last year, and like looking back on it, I did not do enough things. Like, I'm not even talking about just like high school activities. I think just my life in general was just so boring. Did I do anything? No.
I think a good way to just structure this video is just going year by year and like just, you know, saying what we were like and telling a little story from each of these years, just like as a little highlights reel. I don't like the purple rice.
What?
This is not good. I'm so
I've never been more offended in my life.
Freshman year. Freshman year, I had really thin eyebrows and I was obsessed with One Direction. One Direction broke up when I was a freshman, and I honestly
You were
thought
in
they
8th grade.
No.
No, it was freshman year when Zayn left.
Oh yeah, and then they ended.
Okay.
I know my dates. So yeah, I was a One Direction stan, and One Direction broke up when I was a freshman, and that messed with me really badly. Just because it's like they're important to me, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. The day Zayn left.
That's the worst day of my life.
Since I was a One Direction stan and I loved Selena Gomez, you could probably assume that I didn't have friends, which I didn't. I really always, like, I wanted friends really badly. I would try to be social with everybody just because I liked, you know, having friends. And there was this one girl in particular, and I'm gonna call her Hannah, and I really wanted to be friends with her for some reason. To this day, I really can't tell you why, like, I just don't really know. Hannah and I sat at the same lunch table, but we weren't necessarily like friends with each other, but we sat across from each other every day, so it was kind of like, you know, we had somewhat of a relationship going. Hannah had like a lot of the same taste in music that I did, so I like really wanted to be friends with her basically because of that. The thing about Hannah is like she was one of those people that like she was very selective about who she was friends with, which like that's okay, but also it was to the point where she was like borderline rude. She was also very protective over people that she was like a fan of, so like I'll just give you an example. Me. So she loved One Direction as well, and when she figured out that I loved One Direction, she was kind of like,
Okay, but like, when did you like them?
one day Hannah was basically talking about this concert that she went to, and she met like the artist that like the concert was for. So basically she was talking about like her experience meeting this girl. I was obviously very intrigued because I was a fan of this person that she was talking about, and I was like,
Oh my god, like, how tall is she in real life?
I was just like, in my head I was like, oh my god, like I'm really getting to know this girl, like this is great, like we're gonna be best friends. Hannah's sitting next to me like as she's telling me this story, and she's like showing me photos on her phone that she took with this artist and things like that. I thought that it would be a fun and little like quirky idea to just like take her phone and take a really funny selfie on it.
Because I was 15 years old and I thought that kind of thing was funny.
So she had like her lunch tray in front of her, like the school lunch. That lunch day it was like beef and cheese nachos. And so like beef and cheese nachos, so there was like nachos and then there was corn. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I have like my eye on her phone. I'm like, I'm gonna get it like in a second, and like it's gonna be funny, like she gonna laugh. I reach over and I pick her phone up, but then I realize headphones are attached to her phone. And so as I'm pulling it over, the headphones tug on the phone because they're attached to it, and the phone drops in the fucking corn in her lunch tray. Needless to say, she was very pissed off and she never talked to me again.
That made her not talk to you ever again?
She like tolerated me after that. But like after I dropped her phone in corn, which I mean like rightfully so, like, ooh, what did I think that was gonna do? Like, yeah, she never talked to me again and we never became friends.
Freshman year, I look nothing like I did any year of high school. So like if you...
Hey, did you guys know that Sam has red in her hair?
want to see it? Can you even tell it's red?
Yes.
Freshman year. Honestly, the beginning of freshman year, I don't have any recollection of. But towards the end, like winter to the end, my mom started to let me get spray tans. Now, like that wasn't like bad, but like everyone would make fun of me. Like we would go to class, especially the kids in my science class, like the boys in there. First of all, freshman boys squire. They are just mean people. Okay, now granted, my hands would get fucked up every time I got a spray tan because you have to like, and they have to like get in the, if you've gotten a spray tan, you know what I'm talking about, but it's gotta like, it has to like get in like the cracks of your fingers, and that's hard. So the boys in my science class would be so mean to me, and they would always make fun of my hands because they looked blotchy, and I'm like, I know they look bad, you don't have to tell me. I just thought that was just a little detail. I also freshman year had a very strong urge to dye my hair blue. This was when, like, I still love 5 Sauce, but like this was when my 5 Sauce like stand was like at its peak. It was 2014.
Standing there. Stop. My American Apparel. You wanted to be grunge.
Yes, because I was like, I love them. Let me reflect their style. I was like, I want to dye my hair blue. And my mom was like,
No, you stupid bitch. You're not dyeing your hair blue. You're 14.
She's now letting me get like, well, also I'm
Sam has red and rich.
like now I can have strips of color in my hair, but I'm also 18, so if I did it, she couldn't really do anything.
Now we're gonna move on to sophomore year, aka the year that I went boy crazy. So sophomore year was the worst year of high school ever. I really just don't want to talk about it, you know? I have to because it's like, you know, entertainment value. Is this funny? Probably not. Anyways, so like sophomore year, I cut my hair, big mistake. I looked like my grandma. I tried my hardest to like be an Instagram baddie. It was really bad out. But yeah, so I went boy crazy sophomore year. Since I went boy crazy, I thought it was only fitting to like tell a story that has to do with this one boy that I talked to. We're gonna call him
Loser.
Loser.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fitting.
Okay, so Loser and I had been hanging out for a couple days. This one day, I decided to go over to his house and we were watching a movie. Loser's house was like on a hill, so like, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but basically like the basement had a door that you could leave out of because the house was on a hill. Loser's room was in the basement, so we were like in his room in the basement, but there was like a door that you could leave out to go to the backyard. So we're like watching a movie, just hanging out, and then the movie's over and it's time for me to leave. I was also 15 at this point, so my mom came and picked me up.
Anyways.
My mom texted me, she's like,
I'm outside, sweetie.
and I'm like, okay. And so I just leave out of the back door of his basement, and then I like, you know, leave and get in the car and we're going. We're like halfway down the street, almost out of this guy's neighborhood, and I realized that I forgot my phone charger because I brought my phone charger over and it was still at his house. I tell my mom and my mom turns around and I go back. I knock on the door and his mom answers and I was like,
Hey, like, sorry, I just forgot my charger.
no, I didn't go back through the basement door. I like went through the front door. His mom answered the door and like let me in, and I walked down to the basement.
I want to emphasize that I had left 30 seconds ago.
I'm like going down the basement stairs and I just hear all this commotion and I'm like,
Okay, whatever.
I get downstairs to get my charger and there's another
Girl in Loser's room 30 seconds after I had left.
and I literally am standing there and I was just like, they were just like looking at me and I was like, hey guys, I forgot my charger, so I'm just gonna grab that and go. And literally, they didn't say anything. I grabbed my charger and I left.
I don't know how to explain this, but my sophomore year is kind of when everything started to fall apart, but also come together. Does that make sense? It makes no sense, but it's true for me. My sophomore year is the year I started to get into makeup. So at the beginning of the year, I was ass. I fell in love with someone who didn't love me back.
She fell in love with me. The tea is, Sam and I are madly in love with each other.
My mom actually thought we were dating. I posted a picture of the two of us on Valentine's Day and I said, Happy Valentine's Day from me and my GF. And my mom texted me and she's like,
Are you and Jane dating?
I hadn't liked anyone. This is true. I hadn't liked anyone since 5th grade. So it was like 5 years of like not having feelings for anyone, like, and then it was just like my brain was like, what? In my heart they were like, what is going on? I was a mess. I got my temps my sophomore year.
Oh my god. She just wanted me to move on to junior year.
Yeah, because we were in love with the same guy junior year.
Oh my god, that's
And then
entertaining.
Jason-
She was in love with him too.
I was in love with him my junior year though.
It is a curse because he is the most dull person I've ever met, but yet
I was not in love with him. If you're watching this, I was not in love with you.
And then here comes this man who I thought was gonna save me from all of my problems.
He came his knight in shining armor. What year are we on? Junior year.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my input. Thanks.
No boys ever.
So my junior year, I filled in my eyebrows really, really thick. I was boy crazy still, but not as bad. So my junior year story that I want to tell, it's a little different, but I think it's still kind of funny. So this was one of like the scariest things that has ever happened to me. I don't think I've ever been like this embarrassed in my entire life. This was more embarrassing than the corn story. So you're really in for it with this one. So I have this friend. I'm gonna name her Sarah. So basically, it was like my birthday. Like my birthday has always been on spring break, and so it was spring break. We were going to all hang out at Sarah's house and celebrate my birthday. So we're all at Sarah's house, like celebrating my birthday. I don't eat these anymore, but basically at one point I was eating Takis. I was eating these Takis at dinner. They were like my side along. I think I had like pizza. After I'm done eating, I start to feel like a little like, what's the word? Like queasy? Is that the word? I don't know. It wasn't anything too alarming and like shit like that, you know? And so we're done eating and like I'm still feeling kind of nauseous. At this point, it's like 11 o'clock at night and like we're all just sitting downstairs in Sarah's living room watching a movie. All of a sudden, I start to feel really bad. I'm sitting there and I'm like rolling over on the couch and throwing up all over the floor on a white fur rug. So that's really awesome. I ate Takis. So what I was throwing up was bright red. You know those tweets you see where it's like you've never experienced real fear until you've clogged your friend's toilet or something? That's how I felt. I was literally frightened for my life. That was really awesome trying to clean that up. Her mom doesn't really like it when I come over now. So, you know, my junior year at the beginning, I was still into like doing my makeup every day. So Stephanie and I have these two friends, love them dearly. They have been homeschooled their whole life. And one of them was a year above us and the other one's in Jane's grade. So we're like right in the middle. Even though they were homeschooled, they had this thing. Even though they were homeschooled, like every Tuesday, they went to this like school for homeschooled kids because it like offered classes that they couldn't really learn at home, like science labs or like a language or something. And so the co-op is what it's called, had prom. And so they invited us to go with them to prom. This sounds bad, but I had never been so grateful that I had gone to public school before. Yeah. Like Migos would play and they'd be like, and then Cotton Eye Joe would come on. They'd be like,
This is my song!
and then they'd
That's
like go
how
crazy.
the whole dance went.
And so in the middle of the dance, they turn all of the lights on, and the DJ stops the music. This poor DJ, I know that he knew.
The
He
DJ
was up
was
there
like-
the poor DJ like turns off his music. All the lights come on. He's like, now some of your classmates are gonna sing some songs. So these poor like country kids go up there and they're like singing these like Disney songs. Could not contain my laughter. Like as you see, I started cracking up. So if you've ever wondered what homeschool prom is like,
It's offbeat clapping and freaking out to Gangnam Style.
All right, so on to our fourth and final segment, senior year.
Bitch.
I'm gonna be completely honest, guys, like nothing really has happened. This has been my most boring year of high school. I sit at home and then I hang out with Sam on the weekends. That's literally all I do. I started my YouTube channel senior year, but like nobody wants to hear about that. So anyways, I'm gonna tell just a quick little story. This one's probably like my most boring. My stories just got progressively worse as I got through high school, but like anyways. So a couple months ago, I was training to become a lifeguard. If you don't know, you have to take like a pre-test to even get into like lifeguarding classes, and one of the like prerequisites for those tests is you have to swim down to one end of a pool, dive down, pick up a 10-pound brick, and like swim back with it on your back in like under a minute and 40 seconds. When I first heard about it, I was like,
Oh, like that won't be that bad.
yeah, it was the
Fucking hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
like I would rather save a person than do the fucking brick test again. And so I was always practicing this brick test because that was like the part that I was most worried about, like failing on like my pre-test thing. I would go to the pool probably like twice a week during like the school week, and then I would go like once on the weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. I'm at the pool one day and I'm swimming, and like this was also during swim season, so the entire swim team was there. I was like, that's really great, you know what I mean? Me, like I'm just like scrawny and I'm not like you know, a really fast swimmer or anything like that. I'm swimming down, and my friend that's on the swim team, I'm gonna call her Margaret, she looks at me, and like right as I'm about to dive down, she like screams my name in front of everybody. So this gets the entire swim team's attention as well. Thank you, Margaret, for that. I waved to her, and then I dived down, but since I waved to her, it caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting her to like yell at me like that. So I didn't get like the proper breath. I was just like not doing well. And so I'm down there, and I get my brick, and I'm like coming back up, and I'm swimming back, and I choke on water while I'm swimming back. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna swim to the other side, and then I'll like, you know, I'll take a break when I get there. And so I'm swimming back, and like, since she had called my name, the entire swim team was watching me, and like, they know who I am because they go to my school. I'm like choking on water as I'm swimming back, and I'm like, and then I get to the other side, and I literally am like coughing, and like this happened once, but like I was really scared for a minute. I like dry heaved. I thought that I was gonna throw up in the fucking pool. I'm at the other end of the pool, and I'm like, and the entire swim team is watching me. And so that was embarrassing enough. And then as I'm turning around to get out of the pool because I was done for the day, my science teacher walks up to me because she was there. And she goes,
Hi, how was your swim?
after she just saw me dying. I was like,
Oh, it was great.
she was like,
Yeah.
My senior year,
I had given up.
I'm not kidding. I did not wear makeup to school one time my senior year. And this is coming from the girl who did her makeup every day, like sophomore and half of junior year.
do you want to be in for this story?
Even though I didn't do my makeup, I was like in charge of, I was makeup chair, so I was like the head of the makeup crew for like the theater department. So I was in charge of the makeup, so I would assign people whose makeup they were gonna do. I would do makeup myself. And there's this kid in makeup crew. Now this child,
What should we name him? Booby.
Booby. Okay, so Booby. I'm gonna sound like a mean sister when I say this, but I promise I'm not. But so we were sitting in makeup. Once we did everyone's makeup and they went on stage, we literally had nothing to do, but we couldn't leave. So we had to stay and sit in this room.
It was just a whole group of us that was on like the makeup crew.
Yeah, so I don't think everyone in makeup crew was in there, but
it was a good majority.
it was a good, probably over half of makeup crew was in there. We were just talking.
It was like truth or dare or something. It was something stupid.
Yeah, we got that bored. Like, that's how bored we would get. Booby, like, looks at me and he's like, who do you think's prettier, like, you or your sister? And I was like, well, we look alike, so we're both pretty, but, like, I think I'm prettier, which I'm a narcissist, so I'm sorry. I think we're both cute, because we are, look at us. I think I'm prettier, and he looks at me and he's like,
Yeah, me too. I think so too.
and I was like, what did you just say? I said,
I was like, you cannot say that. I am the only one who was allowed to say that.
and he, like, got scared.
He was like,
Oh my god, Sam, I completely agree.
her name got shat on and she wasn't even there.
I wasn't even there!
Yeah.
Thank you, makeup crew.
So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed our high school stories. I'm sorry it wasn't funny. I don't know. Sam has a channel as well. Obviously, we're in her setup. You know, like, Sam actually cares about like the quality of her footage, whereas I am cheap and I don't want to buy a camera. You guys can go check out her videos on her channel. I'm in a couple videos on her channel. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you want. I post once a week. Comment something funny. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Mwah. Mwah.